Hey guys, Samuel here from the Yes to Life show, and this time I want to share with you my experience with 30 days of intermittent fasting. I started it for 30 days, I took a picture every day. I want to show you the progress I made and of course the benefits. I'm going to talk about them later. I continued doing it afterwards and I can challenge all of you to do the same. It's a really great experience. It helps your body a lot, your mind a lot. So let's jump right into it. What's up guys, Samuel here from the Yes to Life show, and this time I want to talk about the concept of intermittent fasting. I've been doing it now for 30 days and I want to share with you a little bit the benefits that I find are the biggest that you can get when you do intermittent fasting. As a short recap, what is intermittent fasting? Well, it's basically you eat for 8 to 6 hours of the day and the rest of the day you don't eat anything, right? So by not eating for 16, 18 hours, you get into a certain fasting state of your body, which has certain benefits to it. Let's be honest about it. I want to share a little bit of the benefits today. Maybe it's also some of the challenges that I find myself when I did intermittent fasting. It is something I can really recommend to you guys, so let's jump right into it. So how do you do intermittent fasting? What I did was basically I skipped breakfast. And that kind of means that, I go home after work, which is usually around 6, 7. I make myself dinner and after that, I sleep. I wake up in the morning, I don't have breakfast, I go to work again, or I go to sport and then to work, and I don't eat breakfast, right? So the first meal of the day that I would have is during lunch, and usually it's quite a big lunch, around 12 or 1. Then again I have dinner around 6, 7, and then I don't eat next breakfast, right? So that's the whole cycle and it continues. I always find in the first 1 or 2 days of doing intermittent fasting, you feel a little bit hungry or something like this, but the benefits start to kick in very quickly. So you actually start to enjoy it very, from a very early point on, right? So what are the benefits? First, I find one of the biggest benefits is definitely weight loss, or let's rather call it weight control, which means that you are more in charge of how your body looks like in a way, right? Because once you are in a fasting state, which you do kind of every day in this fasting period, your body burns more fat. And this basically has the advantage that once you start fasting, you will definitely lose some body fat. And what I mean by weight control is that I think there's some point, right, where you lost a little bit of body fat and then you kind of got to a level and you just stay at that level. So this is weight control. By continuously doing the intermittent fasting, you will stay just at this lower, maybe even more natural level of body fat that you right now have, right? Because I mean, let's be honest, being fat, having a lot of fat on your body, it's not really natural. It's kind of our body's response to having too much food around and so on. By doing intermittent fasting, you will lose belly fat, you will get more to your natural level of fat and you will feel better, right? Let's be honest about it. Everybody likes it more when they have a bit less fat on their body, when they're a bit leaner. I certainly like it more when I'm more leaner. I like to look more athletic than to be super massive and big but not having the definition. So I also find from a fitness perspective, it really helps me. The main thing behind losing body fat is that in a fasting state, your body starts at some point to go to the fat reserves to burn them as fuel, right? When you eat something, especially when you eat carbohydrates and proteins, your body kind of stores them as glycogen. In the liver, it will get used as an energy source. Once this is depleted, after let's say 8, 10, 12, 13, 14 hours of not eating, then your body turns to your body fat cells. And this is kind of the way how your body gets to the fat cells and makes you just a little leaner. The second benefit I feel is that it also helps you promote well-being from several aspects. One is definitely that you do feel less hungry at some point. Like when you wake up in the morning and you're kind of used to not eating in the morning, you get used to it very quickly. Like you don't even feel like having food there. You feel even better because your body feels like more free, I would say. And it kind of decreases your hunger. Your hunger is gonna increase once you reach that time of the day when you have lunch. I usually have a bit bigger lunch when I do intermittent fasting, but it's okay, right? You kind of compensate for the calories that you didn't take in the morning. Another aspect is that you feel a bit more in control because you know that you're not a slave to your hunger, but you're kind of controlling your body, you're controlling your hunger. And let's say you travel, right? You're on a business trip, or maybe you have to visit your parents because you study abroad. I don't know, whatever it might be, right? You're at the airport and you know what? I don't have to eat a snack here. I don't have to buy a sandwich or something like this because I'm used to the fasting state. I can keep several hours without eating, and it makes you like less dependent on what am I going to eat now? What is my next food going to be? You become, I think, more disciplined in a sense. Like it helps you to become more disciplined with how you treat yourself. Third benefit, and this one is a big one I like, is the mental clarity it gives you. If you have never done intermittent fasting, you might think that you have like a decrease in energy and you will feel tired or anything like this. I find it to be the completely opposite. So when I do intermittent fasting, in the morning I have such a clearly focused mind. Like especially those beginning hours in the morning when you go to work and you have like the beginning of the day, you become so productive because you're in a fasting state. Like you're very clear, you don't have like energy ups and downs like this, but you can really just focus. And this basically, well, it has to do with like how your body reacts to the whole fasting situation. For your brain, it's actually good. You will feel it. Try it for yourself. You will not feel like sleepy like after a meal. You will not feel like this fog that you might have, especially if you eat bad food. You just feel more energized. So I find this one a really, really big benefit. So the next benefits are some I kind of looked up. I mean, it's not something that you maybe experience at that point, but it's definitely kind of proven that it helps, right? So fasting helps, for instance, to reduce inflammation in your body, which is related to like in the long term having not chronic diseases which are related to chronic inflammation, right? There's a very tight link between the two. So it will help you to prevent long-term chronic diseases by fasting or by doing intermittent fasting like on a long-term basis, right? Another aspect is autophagy, which kind of means like cellular repair. So in the intermittent fasting state, in the fasting state in general, your body will get rid of like dead cells, of toxins, and so on. Another really big aspect I find is also maybe for your organs, right? You feel less full. There's not so much stress on your stomach, on your digestion. Your digestion will become better if you're like in a fasted state, because your organs also need some sort of break sometimes. They cannot be constantly working if you eat like 5 or 6 meals during a day. So this is also a big benefit I find. So what not to do when you do intermittent fasting? Let's be honest, you can do intermittent fasting but still be on a shitty diet, which kind of means that you eat junk food, that you eat like processed carbs, you eat like meals that are like pre-packaged and have like all the bullshit in them if you look at the ingredients that you don't want. So fasting, it still probably helps a little bit, but in the end what you take into your body is what your body kind of gives out at some point, right? So like if you really want to be healthy, make sure you still eat healthy. Don't take intermittent fasting as an excuse to eat shitty. Start to eat healthy, start to be aligned with your body and give it the good fuel that it needs. And another thing is, don't overeat, right? Like don't eat too much. Let's say the first meal of the day that you have, that you're like, oh my God, I'm so hungry right now, I'm gonna eat so much more than I would usually eat at this point, and then you have dessert or whatever. And then in the end, maybe you take in more calories that you do at the end of the day. So eat slowly, enjoy the food that you have, right? Like really enjoy it, because actually that's a good thing. Like when you fast, you start to enjoy more what is on your plate because you haven't been eating for a while. But don't overdo it, right? Like don't become a machine that like just eats everything. Really be conscious about what you eat. I think this is a very, very important point. And lastly, you have to be flexible sometimes with it. Let's say maybe you have a girlfriend and you want to have breakfast on a Saturday afternoon in the morning and you want to do pancakes or whatever, don't be the guy who's like, oh no, I have my intermittent fasting, I'm not going to do it. You know, be flexible, do it every once in a while. You have maybe like a family celebration and there's like food 3 times a day. Like if it makes somebody else happy, if you eat like once in a while in the morning or whenever you usually would have your fasting window, you know, you're not gonna die from it. It's probably even better because you can like enjoy it and you don't have to feel like you have to hold back at that specific occasion. So this is it, guys. Try it for yourself. I really find it to be beneficial. My kind of 30-day challenge ended a couple of weeks back. I'm just recapping it right now. I still do intermittent fasting at this point. I love it even more, and right now thinking about it, like there's no way to going back to having breakfast, and even thinking to starting like 1 meal a day. This is something I kind of researched more and more right now, so you might see me doing this soon. I want to challenge all of you, do it for yourself, try intermittent fasting for yourself, see if you see the certain benefits that I have, because like a lot of people have them, especially the mental clarity aspect. Really, I'm telling you guys, this is awesome, as well as the weight loss or whatever you might want to call it, weight loss, weight control. But try it for yourself. Subscribe to the channel if you like this content. Let us know in the comments your experience. I would be really happy to hear from you, and see you next time.